Hard work and smart work pays, no matter the circumstance. In today's episode, we have the inspiring story of Eastern, God's favor, Ariahu, who had to write WAEC in a center that was different from her school, but still came out with three A's and the remaining B's. To hear more about her story, stay tuned.
First of all, my name is Eastern God Favour, and I'm a student. I'm a very curious and determined person by nature. I'm also someone that is hardworking, although I believe in working smart because that's one thing that gets you to where you want to be in life. I'm someone that is open to anything. Ne- So far, it's positive, and I do not like negative energies. I don't like negative energies around me. I'm just a positive person. I love positive vibes. I love exploring, and I just love knowing new things, like new things inside me. And everything. For my WAEC, I was a curious and determined student, and because I was the smallest among my peers, or let's say one of the smallest students back then in school, especially when I got to SS3, most of the girls there were like bigger than me and everything. And I was one of the most quiet, isolated students. I only move with those that I move with me. Okay. But I was just curious and determined. I didn't have everything figured out. Nothing. I had nothing figured out when I went to SS3. I wasn't even prepared for the reality of leaving school yet. Okay. But I just had faith. So I just trusted God and that was all. Well, it taught me a lot. It put me under a lot of pressure. It put me through tests, like real life situation. I met with real life pressure, pressure of reading. Think, what if I don't pass? What is my friends gonna say? All the hard work I put into it. But why taught me discipline and time management. It also taught me to trust myself and it exposed me to a part of me I really never knew, the part of me that says believe it and you will be able to do it. So how I prepared for WAEC was that I decided to manage my time and also structure my subject from the ones I do not like. So I'm meeting the ones I do not like, or the physics, or the chemistry, or the maths. Then I go to the ones I love, like biology, English, geography. So that was how I was able to like prepare for my WAEC. I learned how to pen things down. I'm someone that reads a lot. I read everything, magazines, novels, books, everything. But I do not like writing. That's the kind of person I am. I read, but I don't like writing. But my daddy always says, if you can pen it down, then you could do it. So I started to pen it down. I got a marker, I got a cardboard. I had to make my own timetable according to the way I wanted to make my timetable. So I placed it on my wardrobe. So every time I got dressed, I saw my timetable. And I did a countdown to the date of the WAEC. So every single time I went to get dressed, I said, okay, today is 30 days to the WAEC. All right, we've achieved this. All right, we've done this. Okay, so that was how I prepared my timetable. I had no idea that my result I was going to have A's and B's. Okay, it wasn't something I knew. There was no way I could have known that, oh, I was going to have A's and B's. Because when it was like 15 days to the exam, I felt ill. I I felt ill because I was stressing too much. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. I was doubting everything I knew, right? So I just kept on asking God, God, will I even go to this exam? 15 days to the exam, I felt ill that I had to even take injection at home from a nurse and everything. But after the illness, I just realized that maybe okay. Maybe, what if I get C's and D's? It's still okay. Okay, okay. What if I get B's and C's? There's nothing wrong with the results. I just need to avoid getting D's and E's. That was what I told myself. So I never knew that I was gonna have only E's and B's. But I prefer studying alone because I'm I'm someone that loves being alone, but I don't like feeling lonely. And If you watch me, if I'm studying, it's like as if I'm teaching someone, but I'm actually teaching myself. So I don't want someone to make me feel weird or anything like that. But if I get maybe a little bored or I start feeling too lonely studying alone and stuff, I just maybe call my best friend, although she's in a different department that I am, though, but she usually do help out in a lot of ways. And I also had this, small group of friends. We're all favors, like three favors. Favors, Famugumi and me. So like favors. So when we come together, we teach ourselves, we study together. But overall, I prefer studying alone. Yes. What kept me motivated all through my work was God and myself. Because first of all, God, every single time I doubted myself, He always gave me a reason to like look up, like to encourage myself to keep going. My biggest obstacle during the time during my WAEC was social media, right? So I would spend hours watching Facebook reels and Instagram reels instead of me studying. And also, actually, that was all, just social media. And also, I was a fan of reading these online novels. So I'll spend time reading my novels, although most of them was like historical novel, all those people that talks about history and all of those things, and reading my actual like studying actually for work. The major difference between preparing for jam and preparing for work, it takes longer, it takes precision, and it takes intention to prepare for jam. For work, you can, if you determined, right, if you at least dedicate to studying 2 hours when you wake up from sleep and then an hour before you go to bed, you'll be fine. But jam, you need to start early and you need to be precise. You need to have an idea of what is going to come. You need to be as an angle, whereas you do not, you know that you're not going to be disqualified when you enter that hall because it's like a one time thing. Once you go into that hall, once you sit on that chair, you have less than 2 hours. In fact, that's less than 3 hours and you should be out. Another person is sitting on that same seat. Just that. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're planning to do at that point solely depends on God, yourself, and your precision, your timing, your confidence, your determination, your balance, everything. You just have to put everything else aside. When I mean everything else aside, you have to put your doubts, your fear, your fears, your insecurities, everything. You have to just leave them aside and focus on that. But when praying for work, I mean, we had days, we have to skip days, to do some of our papers and everything. And at some point, just the exam started getting lively because you got to, meet new students, make new friends, and everything. So my experiences during my exam days was okay. I didn't have much of a problem. I only had problem with logistics on the first day. That's getting to the venue. I had to wake up quite very early, and then the tension, the anxiety, the weight, everything. I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to see the exam hall, the everything. I had to go to school and then follow a group of people to the venue, right? I had to get the bus, and all the everything that we did on that day. Then we got to the venue, weren't allowed into the premises till I think it was like 30 minutes before the exam time or 45 minutes, something like that. So we went into the school building and then all of us tried to like find our spots and everything, settle down. So the middle of the exam, there was one time we met with this invigilator. She was a woman. She wasn't old, but she didn't look young either. So she was just mean. Like I just saw a mean, angry woman on that day. So it got me scared in particular because I was sitting in the front because Name starts with the first alphabet, so I ended up sitting in the front. So she came in. No, she was angry. She came in quite early, and most of the students, especially most of the guys that were supposed to be seated for the exam, hadn't come to the venue yet. So she was angry and everything. But it went well. I did my exam and I submitted. And then the last day of my exam, yeah, the day I wrote my final paper, it was relieving. It was the day. It's one of the days I will never forget because it's one of the days that I was genuinely happy. I felt extremely happy even before seeing the result. I just felt this pride, like I was so proud of myself for getting to the place I was at that day. Do all the turns, everything. I was we finished. Okay, I'm done from school. I've come out. So that was how the feeling was that day. So I know there is social media to catch up with. Once was trending online, what's the latest gist? There's friends to hang out with. There's one party to go, but you need to learn time management because apart from WAEC, time management is going to help you in life. You need to know when it's time to do this, and when it's time to do it, do not say, "Oh, I'm going to do it later." Oh, don't worry, I'm going to read later. I'm going to do maths later. Let me do English now. Let me leave maths. No, that at that time, do maths. Don't worry, it's just the practice. Nobody is going to judge you for failing, for you failing the question you set for yourself. But where people are going to judge you is when you do not practice, you do not learn that maths, and then you later go out there and you're not able to pen something down. That is when it becomes shameful. So you need to say, okay, I will do it. Even if it's two questions, I solve it, I close this book, I will move on to the next. Just be yourself. Yeah. Then you'll be happy. Also, you need to don't put too much pressure. Too much pressure isn't good. Yes, I've seen so many people fail because of too much pressure. Even even when it comes to jam, you're putting so much pressure on yourself. So pressure is something that isn't good for anybody. Just relax, and you will realize that you actually know more than you think you know. And the truth is that today and tomorrow will soon be yesterday. So whatever you're thinking is going to happen today and it's going to happen tomorrow, very soon you will call it yesterday. So relax, don't be pressured. Okay, do what you have to do at the right time, and then leave everything to God because you've done your best. Worrying over and over again will not change anything. It has been done. It has been done. That's all.
How do you feel about the story? Were you inspired? Would you like to share this with someone else? So do that now. Comment, like, share, and hit that button, subscribe.